So before we get started, I want to talk just a little bit about what core back office is. You guys have heard me talk about KV Core in the past. Now we're talking about core back office, and I want to share with you guys that they are not the same thing. So KV Core is a front-end system that is completely optional. That is a website, it is a database management system, and it's a marketing tool. Some of the agents on our team have purchased licenses to utilize KV Core, and others haven't, and that's fine. KV Core is not required. Core back office is required. It is something that we are paying for on behalf of the brokerage because it is a back office system. What it does is it helps us track transactions, it helps us with DAs, and it helps us with compliance, and it helps us with taxes. So it is an accounting and compliance software system. So we're going to take about 30 minutes this morning just to walk through how it works, what you guys do with it, what we do with it, and what the bare minimum requirements are. Before we get started, do you guys have any questions? No. Okay, cool. All right, then I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so as I mentioned a second ago, core back office, which is also called Broker SUMO, we'll kind of talk through that here in a second, is a product in the KV Core product line that is specific to back office support. It does DAs, it does compliance, it does record keeping, it does accounting, it does tax records. Some of those things are specific to you guys, some of them are specific to us. We're going to hit just the bare minimum today. The system will do a lot more, but today we're just going to hit what's the absolute bare minimum. When you log into the system, this is what the dashboard looks like. So a couple of things that I want to orient you guys to. Number one, I'm going to call it core back office, but the website is brokersumo.com. The reason for that is that Inside Real Estate, which is the parent company, is acquiring different products and putting them together. Broker SUMO is a freestanding product that they bought and are in the process of rebranding, but right now it's still called Broker SUMO. When you log in, this information on the dashboard is going to be specific to you. It's going to show you how many transactions you have that are closed this month, how many you have coming up, what your sales volume is, and then there's a link for office information. On the left-hand side in this gray bar is your navigation bar. I'm going to refer back to this because this is how you start to get to all the different parts of the system. A quick work breakdown of what gets done in the system. There are things, like I said, that are specific to you guys. There are specific things for the brokerage. On the agent side, there's three things that you guys need to use the system for. Number one is creating your transactions. We're going to utilize this system to track all the sales volume for the company, to do all of our DAs, and for our compliance reviews. So you guys are going to create your transactions in here, upload your final documents rather than emailing them to Phil and I, and then we lose them, and then we ask you for them again before we do your DAs. Skipping all of that, you're just going to put them straight in the system and it stores them here for you. We're going to ask you guys to use this system to make sure all of your transaction data is correct before the DA goes out. So if your pricing changes after you put the listing or your sale in the system, make sure it's updated because that's what's going to drive your DA. And then once a year, I'm going to ask you to review all of your transaction data before we do the tax reporting. And once a year, we're going to use the system for the annual paperwork renewal. So on a monthly basis, you guys are using it to upload all of your documents for your transactions so that we can do your DAs through here. Once a year, we're doing a pre-tax form review and our annual paperwork renewals. Any questions about that? No? Okay. On our side, what we use it for is to review all of the documents that have come in. We'll take a look here in a minute at what documents we're talking about. We're going to use this for our compliance check. We're going to use it for completeness. We're going to create and send DAs through this system. I've been doing it for a couple of months. So if you've seen a different version of the DA, it's come out of this system, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All of your annual tax forms will come out of this system. The annual paperwork renewals will all come out of this system. And then internally, we do monthly reporting through here so that we can look and see, okay, as a brokerage, where are we? who's where, who's doing what, how are we doing as a company. Okay. The number one major responsibility that everybody in the company has is to load your transactions into the system. This replaces some parts of the previous setup, but not all parts. So I want to take a second to talk about this. Currently, what everyone does is you complete your documents in whatever system you like. Some of you use Transaction Desk. Some of you use DocuSign. Some of you use Dotloop. Some of you use SkySlope. Like, people use all sorts of different stuff. Some of you use pens. Doesn't matter. When you guys do your paperwork, however you've been doing your paperwork, that doesn't change. So if you use Transaction Desk to do all of your contracts, keep using Transaction Desk. If you use Dotloop, keep using Dotloop. Where this changes, the current process is right now, after all that stuff's signed, you guys send it to us in an email, and I'm not going to lie, promptly lose it in the email mess. There's so many things that come and go through my email on a daily basis. Things get messy. So we run into issues with version control. We run into issues where I may ask you for a document that you've already given me. I feel bad about it. You probably are annoyed with me when I do it. It's not fun for anybody. So at the point that you would normally email us completed contracts, that's where this comes in. Everything before that stays the same. So to add your transaction, I'm going to kind of walk you guys through the steps, and then I'll switch over and show you live how it works. From this gray toolbar on the left-hand side, you're going to hit transactions and you're going to hit add transaction. There are a ton of fields that are available in this part of the system. You do not have to fill them all out. There's really just some very basic things that need to be filled out. We need to know the transaction status, meaning, are you listing this property, or are you representing the buyers? Are you the selling agent? The third option would be lease. There are 5 options in here. We don't use dual, and we rarely use referral, so I wouldn't worry about those at all. We're just looking at, are you the listing agent? Are you the buyer's agent? Or is this a lease? Depending on which of these you choose, the fields that are available here will change. So I'm going to show you guys that here in a second when we go to the live view. You're going to pick your transaction type. You're going to tell me, is it active, meaning it's an active listing, or is it already under contract, at which point you would select pending. Give me the sales price, give me the close date, give me the property information, and what your commission split is. That's about it. It's pretty easy. Let me show you guys how that works if we do it live. Are you still looking at my slides, or are you looking at my computer now? You're all muted.
Yeah, I'm seeing both.
You're seeing both. Okay.
Screen's on the left, slides on the right.
One's on the left, one's on the right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to figure out how to switch what I am sharing so that you guys only see one, so that you can see a little bigger. Is that better? Yes. Okay. All right. So this is what Broker SUMO or Core Back Office looks like. When you first log in, this is what comes up. It's your dashboard. Mine is going to look a little bit different than yours because I'm an administrator and I can see everybody's deals. Y'all are only going to see yours. So there are going to be some fields that I'm going to have to click on that you're not going to have to click on. When you're looking to add a transaction, you go to transactions and then hit add transaction. First thing we're going to do is tell it, is this a listing or am I representing the buyer? I want to show you guys, if I click on listing, the fields change. I now have list price available and sales price and listing date and expiration date. So these fields start to change. If I select selling agent, it's just the sales price. So we have different fields based on which one you choose. Another thing that changes based on which one you choose is the task list. And I'm going to show you guys that in just a second. So let's say that I'm representing the buyer. I'm going to click on selling. We are under contract, so I've changed my transaction status. You can choose property type. You don't have to. You can skip that one. Sales price. I sold this one for $500,000. I am making this up as we go. The contract was accepted today. Our close date is going to be February 4th. I am getting paid 3%. You're going to put in your portion of the commission here only. So I know when we do our listing agreements, we put in the total commission for both sides. If you're doing a listing here, you're only going to put your permit or your part in. And the reason for that is because it drives how it calculates your DA. So we only want to put your portion in. One thing I do want to show you guys is that I chose selling, but it still shows that there is a listing commission option here. If you're representing the buyer, you want to put your commission in the selling commission portion. If that gets messed up, I will find it and I will fix it. But just so you guys know, there are two options right there. Because I chose selling, it automatically defaulted to the buyer's checklist. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here in just a minute. On this side, I'm going to put the address of the property. I've sold my house at least twice this week, according to this system. Also, I can't type. Okay, that's it. That's all you have to put in. Once you do that, you're going to scroll down, go away, Anthony, who wants to talk to me from the software system, and hit save. You guys won't have to do this portion where you pick who your agent is. I do because I can access all of them. Angela, I'm going to put it under you because it defaults to a different version of my name in here for some reason. Okay. You see, yes, I'm sure I want to proceed. I'm selling the house again. Okay, that's all you have to put in to create the transaction. So I want to show you guys when I go over here to view transactions, it's going to show up in here right now. I'm also going to find where I did it a second time so I can look at the new one. Okay, here we go. Once you've created your transaction and you hit save, you now have a new navigation bar at the top that will take you to lots of different menus. We are not going to deal with all of these menus. There's way too much information in here. Cancel. I'm going to be in here right now. There are two menus I am going to ask you guys to click on. The first one is title and attorney. In this field, you're going to put your title company's name and contact information. The reason for that is this then allows the system to email the DA directly to title. So if you are working with one of the common title companies, it may already be in here. I'm going to pick on PGP title. That information is already in here. If you are working with a title company that is not already in the drop-down menu, it's fine. Just start typing and record whatever the correct information is. It will then add it to the drop-down menu. At a minimum, I need the email or the company name and the email address. That's it. If you have other information and you want to include it, that's great. But at a minimum, I need title company and the email address. Also, if you have the name of your closer, drop it in there. And hit save. Again, what that does is it allows the system to send the DA directly to title, as opposed to us creating it, sending it to you, you guys forwarding it to title. It's just one fewer step. That being said, I will still send you a version to review to make sure that I got it right. Okay, so if we go back to transaction information, I just want to show you guys a couple parts to this that we didn't hit on the first view. All of the information that you put in is still here. We've got all of our transaction info. I'm representing the buyer. We are under contract, our sales price, our close date, all of that is still in there. Here's all of my property information. There are two things that get added to this based on the transaction type that you selected after you hit save. So when we hit selling right here, it's going to add two things to this transaction status block in the top right-hand corner, and then below the property information, a task list. I want to show you guys what these are and how they work. This top section, transaction status, this is all about the payment. So what this tracks is, has a DA been created? Has the DA been sent to the title company? Have you guys been paid? That's it. That's what this top section does. So when I create the DA, it will update this. This bar will start to turn green. There will be a checkbox here that says, yes, it's been done. It won't let me do it right now because I haven't created a DA. When the DA goes to title, this will get updated. The green bar will get bigger. Once we get paid, that updates, it gets bigger. So you can check and see where we are in the process of getting your DA out and getting everybody paid through this transaction. Down below, this task list serves two purposes. Number one, it is a suggestion of what documents might be needed for your contract. This is not everything's going to apply to every transaction. So there are a few that are going to be at the top that are absolutely required. This is where the compliance piece comes in. You're going to submit your IABS, your general notice, your buyer's rep, your executed contract, any addenda, any disclosures. Below that, we're going to see a list of things that are optional. It may fit this property type, it may not. As these documents start to get uploaded, which again takes the place of emailing them to us, you'll see these boxes get checked off by the system and this progress bar starts to turn green. Do you guys have any questions about that before I show you how to do it? No? Okay, cool. All right. The way that you start to check those off is by going up here and going to the Documents tab. When you hit the Documents tab, this is the same process as it would be if you were trying to attach a document to an email. All you're going to do is hit Add Document, select File, pick your document, hit Open, and then it's going to ask you to name your document and select which document it is. I'm going to ask you guys, in your document name, always put the street address first. The reason for that is because all of these documents automatically dump into our long-term storage system because we are required to keep all of these documents and all of this information for 7 years. If every single person labels every single IABS as IABS, I'm going to have 7 years worth of documents that say IABS and no idea who they go to. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to put the street address and the name of the document. When you, the next step, and I did this on purpose so you guys would see it. The next step is to put a check mark next to which document you're submitting. When you do that, it is going to change the document name to Submit IABS or whatever this language is right here. So what I would recommend would be when you do this, upload your document, select which document it is, and then rename it. And hit upload. When you do that, it's going to record it in this system. You guys can see it right here. You can go in and look at it here. You can download it here. You can delete it here. You can edit and change here. Any of those things is an option. Each time you upload a new document, I want to show you guys, it checks it off on the checklist and it starts to move this progress bar. You're never going to hit 100% on this progress bar because there are going to be documents in here that just don't apply to what you're doing for your particular transaction. That's okay. It's not like you have to hit 100% before we're going to do a DA, but there are those mandatory required ones that we have to have according to the state that do have to be there before we can do a DA. So your IABS, your general notice, your buyer's rep, your contract, and any addenda and your disclosures have got to be there. Do you guys have questions about that? I see no. Corey's staring off into the distance. No. Okay.
That's not fair. That's where the camera is on the iPad.
No, I'm doing the same thing. Like I've got my screen
it's over
looking
the
at
left.
here. You guys are over here and it's not working. One thing that did come up yesterday when we did this was, well, what if I have a package that has all of my information in it together? I sent my client all of my documents together. that's fine. If your IABS, your general notice, and your buyer's rep are all saved as one PDF, it'd be lovely if they were saved individually and could be uploaded individually. If it can't, just upload it 3 times and label it each way. Or upload it once, shoot me a note. There's a section here in notes that you can click on, hit add. You know, hey, all my required docs are saved under buyer's rep. If you do it that way, I can see that you guys have added a note. I know where everything's at. We're all good. Phil and I will still be reviewing all of the contracts through this system for completeness. That being said, if you are mentored, you still need to send documents by email or whatever system you've been sending them for review before they get signed. This is where final documents go. Anything that happens before we get to a final version of a document still happens the way it's always happened. Cool, any questions? In terms of transaction management, that's it, guys. I want to show you what the new DAs look like, just so you've seen one and you can recognize it when you see it, because they do look a little bit different. This is what the new ones look like. So this will go to the title company directly, which is why it's so important that you give us the title company information. I will also send a copy to you for your records. So there will be 2. If you have wiring instructions that you want included with your DA, if you want to send them to me, I can upload them for you guys. Don't want to talk right now. The KV Core and Core Back Office both have really great tech support through their chat feature, but they pop up at really random times. So, but yeah, I can put your wiring instructions in if you like. If you prefer to have a check cut, they still do that the same way. Do you guys have any questions about the transaction creation, document upload, DA process? No? Okay. I want to show you guys one more thing in terms of the transactions. I showed you what was on the checklist. If you were the buyer's agent, I want to show you what's on it if you're the listing agent. This tool is designed to just remind you about some of the documents that you may need. It's not every document is needed. The ones that are required every time are going to be at the top. So you're going to have your IABS, your general notice, your listing agreement, your contract. From there, these are reminders of things that you might need based on your particular property. Your survey in T47, notice to purchaser if your property is in a mud or a PID. If you're in the city of Austin, the city of Austin's energy audits are going to be required. All of your disclosures, your settlement statement afterwards is going to get uploaded into the system. If you do any addendums after the contract's executed, that'll go here. All of these are just options of things that you might need. If you have questions about other documents, may be needed, may not be needed, just give us a call. Either one of us is available anytime to help answer questions about documents. Any questions? Ron's going, nope. Angela, you cool? Not cool? Oh, you're cool. Okay. Scott, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, you got to use your voice because all I can see is like your hair.
Yeah. I'm good.
Corey, you good? Okay. All right. I'm going to switch screens on you guys again. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we went through how to add transactions, what fields had to be updated, how to load your title information, what the transaction status checklist was, what the task list is, and how to upload documents. That takes care of everything that happens on a per transaction basis. The system, I've been using it for about 3 months. It is significantly easier than maintaining things in all the different ways I've tried to maintain them. I've tried paper lists. I've tried Excel spreadsheets. I've tried so many different systems. This takes about 60 seconds after you get logged in to be able to create your transaction, and then document upload is as easy as attaching it to an email. My hope is that what will happen here is that when you guys need your DAs will be faster, because we will be able to have all the documents that you've given to us and make sure that the information in the transaction is up to date. So my intent behind doing this is twofold. It's to make sure that we're meeting our compliance requirements and keeping all of our documents for the full 7 years. But it's also, I hate it when I screw up a DA and I get you guys the wrong information. I want to make sure that your payments are right. That's what's going on behind the system. So we talked about the transaction piece, which is a per transaction. The second thing that I need you guys to do in the system is review your previous transactions to make sure they're right once a year, so that we can make sure your tax information is correct. There is a report that you guys can access individually that's going to show you all of the transactions for 2021. All of those transactions have already been uploaded into the system. What I need each of you guys to do is to go in and make sure it's accurate. I've reviewed it a couple of times because I'm a little bit nervous about this, but I want you guys to take a look at it, make sure I didn't miss something. The way that you do that is you, again, from this gray bar, go to transactions, and below add transaction, there's the little money sign. It's funny to me. It says commissions. Click on that and it will bring you to a version of this report. What you need to do is change the dates at the top to say close date from 1/1 of 2021 to 12/31 of 2021 and hit apply filter. When you do that, all of this will regenerate. And it's going to tell you, we have this many deals for you. This was your total commission. This was your total sales volume. So if you're just curious and wonder where you are for the year, you can run this at any point. But I need you guys to do this and review your 2021 data so that we can run your tax forms and make sure that your forms are correct. I'm going to ask you guys to all do this and get back to me by next Friday, the 14th, if there are any errors. If I don't hear from you, I'm going to assume everything's fine. This is what I'm going to report to the IRS. So if it's wrong, please tell me so that we can get it fixed. Any questions about that? No? Obviously, it's here for you anytime you want. If you want to see where you are at any given point in the year, you just change the dates to look at what you want to look at and hit apply filter and it will update. But for taxes, I need you guys to run this for 2021, review it, let me know if there are any problems. Okay, the last thing that is going to happen, in the system is that we are going to utilize the system to do the annual paperwork renewals. Every year, we send you guys a whole bunch of stuff to DocuSign. It's going to be policies and procedures. It's going to be your independent contractor agreement, statement of understanding, all of that stuff that we do on an annual basis. You're going to get that request rather than it coming directly through DocuSign. It's going to come through Broker SUMO. I don't know off the top of my head if it's going to say Broker SUMO, if it's going to say Inside Real Estate, or if it's just going to have my name on it. I don't know. Look for all three. I'll let you guys know when I send it. The way that it works is it has a plugin for DocuSign, so you'll be able to review everything in DocuSign, electronically sign just like you would normally. It's going to ask you to input your license number and your expiration date, and it's going to ask you to upload a copy of your car insurance. Be prepared for those things. That will be coming out probably in the next 2 days so that you guys have that. I will also send you an email that highlights the changes to the policies and procedures. And all of the changes are in red to make it that much easier for you guys to see what's been updated. There are a couple of updates that are specific to KV Core and Core Back Office that will be highlighted for you. That's new because we haven't done it in the past. And there will be some new information in there about broker referral versus partnering versus transaction coordinator, because we're starting to do different types of partnerships as we get to be a bigger group and we're covering a bigger geographic area. So that's just something to be aware of. All of that will be highlighted in the email, and it's all in red in the policies and procedures to make it glaring obvious that it's a different thing. What questions do you guys have for me about the process of doing those annual renewals? Nothing? Okay. So 3 things with core back office. Number 1, all transactions are going to go through core back office moving forward. Anything that you guys have sent me today, up to today, should be in the system. Anything new going forward, you guys are going to need to load into the system. If I've put it in the system, please double check it, make sure I got it right. When you put information in, it's those basic fields. That's all that's required. If it makes your heart happy to fill out the mortgage company and all the detail on the title company and all of the information for your own record keeping, knock yourselves out. You can run reports out of here and we will do a class on reporting later. But for my purposes, all I need you guys to put in there is that very basic information that was on that slide, and I'll attach the slides as well. That's the ongoing. Once a year, we're going to review tax information. I need you guys to do that. Let me know if there's any discrepancies by next Friday. And we're going to do our annual paperwork renewal. You'll have that in the next 2 days. That's it, guys. All of you have already logged into this system. I know you don't remember, but you all did. So I'm going to resend your logins and a request to just let me know if you don't remember your password and you need to reset it. Let me know. I'll reset it for you. That's it. Pretty easy. Take it off mute. Tell me what you think. Tell me the good, the bad, what questions you have.
That's great to have everything in one spot.
I hope so.
I have a couple different Excel spreadsheets, and that's what I've been using. But I have to go back and forth with all the paperwork. So this is nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
And if you guys find something that's missing, if there's a document that you wish was on the checklist and it's not, or if there's something that's on the checklist that doesn't make sense to you, I can change all of that. That's just the current version. So let me know what changes would make this work better for you guys. And I'm happy to adjust things as much as I can.
Awesome.
Corey, Scott, Lauren? Lauren's
I don't
like,
have
I
any
don't know. I
questions
don't.
about it.
That looks good. Looks simple.
Yeah, it is.
looks-
It's really easy. And you can run it off of anything. I use it on my iPad. You can probably do it on your phone. I haven't tried it, but you probably can. Any sort of system works.
Yeah, I went ahead and played with it yesterday and uploaded something to it. So
Yeah. I also wanted to tell you guys, and I didn't show it to you, but I wanted to tell you, when you create a new transaction in the system, Phil and I both get emails that say, hey, Angela created a new transaction. That way we know, we're notified, hey, there's a new deal that's in the system. Start paying attention to it so that we will make sure to get you your DAs when you need to get paid. It's not going to just get lost.
so cool. Thanks, Jen.
Absolutely. Scott, Lauren, any
Yeah,
thoughts?
thanks. No, I'm digging it. I like it. Look forward to using it. So
Cool.
Same here. I look forward to using it too.
Me too, because I hate having to ask you guys to send me stuff that I'm pretty sure you already sent me, but I can't find it. I don't like that. I don't like bothering y'all for stuff you already gave me. Oh, all right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much. Have a great morning.
Thanks,
All
Jen.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jenny.
Jenny. Bye.
Bye.